Hi, my name is Koslosky. I'm the producer of Excelsior Theater Company. We are a commercial-based theater company, so we're very interested in giving profit back to our investors and people that have given money to our business to become successful. We were established in 1995. We do historically significant plays and musicals. However, my vision is a lot more than profit-driven. It's to perform in a way that effectively represents the underlying themes of the play and inspires the audience members to see that these ideas are still relevant in today's societies. A few ways that we're going to be able to promote this performance of Angels in America specifically. The first is going to be magazines that are relevant to our target audience, which is the homosexual community, AIDS community, and just local theater goers around New York City. The first way we're going to do that is magazines. Second way we're going to do that is posters, mainly outside of big public establishments and means of transportation, so like subways, taxis, and then our biggest promotional piece will probably be a billboard that we're going to put in Central Park, Central City, so that everyone passing by can see that billboard and know that our play is going on and come see it. And we have one tie-in, and it's the American Foundation for AIDS. And that's just to, we're going to promote that by in our promotional, when we do promotions in magazines and billboards and posters, we're going to put that as our tie-in, as well as at the end of performance, we're going to ask people to donate money to this foundation to contribute. And the way we're going to fund this is through our investors and our subscribers, which we have built over the last decade. Since we've been open since 1995, it should not be that hard. We've been able to successfully produce hundreds of performances throughout the years with their help, and we don't think this performance will be any different. And now we're going to bring it over to our director. Go.
Hi, my name is Carson, Hodes, and I'm the director for this production of Angels in America. My image for this performance is for the story to be told through the characters and not to distract audience members with big elaborate sets. We really want the focus to be on the characters themselves and how they tell the story. However, when objects such as the angel are going to descend, or we have hallucinations from Harper, we're going to address those issues by making it magical and very elaborate. So when the angel comes in, or when Harper's having a hallucination, it's going to have its own music and lighting, so the audience knows that it is not necessarily real life, but all in the character's head. We're also not going to make any significant alterations to the time or the setting, because we really want the play to stay in its original historical context, especially since we want the audience to know that even though this is something that did happen several decades ago in the 80s, it is still applicable to today's society, and the issues that the characters face and the story that they tell can still be related to by people in modern society. Some significant scenes that we need to address are the scene where Roy pulls out his IV and blood splatters everywhere, the scene where Harper asks Joe if he's a homosexual, the scene where Pryor tells Lewis if he has AIDS, as well as the scene where Pryor goes to heaven and then tells the angels that he wants to live. And the way we're going to address these significant scenes in the play is by having our actors really commit to the character and tell a story that the audience can believe, as opposed to just keeping everything on a surface level. And the challenges that we're going to face as far as spectacle is concerned, we are going to address by having the angel be very elaborate, and to have the hallucination scenes also be very magical and have their own kind of element of spectacle to them. So now we're going to bring it over to the set designer.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm going to be the set designer for this production of Angels in America. This play will be held on a thrust stage. The actors will make use of the aisles to create a sense of community between our 500 to 600 person audience. We chose this audience size because we want it to be large enough for there to be a shared identity, but small enough for them to still feel like a community. The set will primarily be minimalistic, so it doesn't detract from the script, but scenes like hallucinations and the heaven scenes will have like symbolism and all that in there. Our color palette will transform with our characters, starting from more monochromatic, more like grays and blacks and browns, and then slowly go into a warm jewel tone. This transformation of the colors will happen by the angel. The angel will be dressed in mosaic and backlit, so as the play goes on, the mosaics will be more lit from behind, so it will spread the jewel tones across the set, showing that change is inevitable and it's going to happen. Most of our props will be in proportion because we want the play to seem realistic, but for the hallucinations, the props are going to be a lot bigger in comparison to the actors, just to show it's not really happening. But for the heaven scenes, I've decided to make the props vary in proportion because I want the audience to decide if those are real or not. The set is going to be really open because it's so minimalistic, so the actors are going to get to move freely and express themselves exactly how they want to with the stage. Now we're going to hear from our actor Pryor.
I'm an actor in this theater company, and within this play, Angels in America, I will be playing Pryor Walter, as well as the man in the park. So beginning with Pryor, he's one of the play's main characters, and the story kind of revolves around him. Given his current situation, developing AIDS, my inspiration for this character is to really show society what it's like for a homosexual male, especially one with AIDS, and his struggles through his life. So that's my drive and inspiration while developing this character throughout the play. Just giving a few images that represent Pryor throughout the play. Obviously him on his bed while he's sick in the hospital, and then the different hallucinations that he has with the angels. And so being Pryor Walter, really the play is centered around him and his story and how it develops through himself along with Lewis and the other couples within the play. And so going away from Pryor, I will also be playing the man in the park, which this man is the one who has an affair with Lewis. So here's a few images. Obviously Central Park and the notorious bench that is always viewed inside the play. The man in the park is a different type of character than Pryor Walter, given like he has no backstory and no prior knowledge given to the audience before the play. So basically, we were able to create our own backstory of the man in the park, given that he came from Europe to America, came here on a ship, like this picture illustrates. So really for him, the story is just to really have him remembered by the audience, even though he's only shown so little within the play. My goal is to give the audience something to remember from his story and what he brings to the play.